Bleda was killed possibly by Attila.
After beating the Eastern Roman Empire, Bleda disappears from the historical record. There's a perfectly valid reason for this. He died in 443 or 445, a couple of years after the Byzantine campaign. As with everything related to Attila, it's not clear how Bleda died, but rumor has it that Attila assassinated his brother to gain total control of the tribe. Bleda may also have been killed in combat returning to the Hungarian plain, or have died in a hunting accident. Whatever happened, Attila became sole ruler of the Huns in 445.
Attila and Bleda then turned back to the Romans and crushed them.
After the bloody nose at the hands of the Sassanids, the brothers decided that they'd had enough of abiding by the Treaty of Margus. They launched a massive attack against the Eastern Roman Empire in 441, sacking the Balkans. Their horsemen destroyed everything in their path and wiped a number of ancient cities off the map entirely. They finally reached Constantinople and forced Theodosius Roman II to come to terms.
Legends say he carried a special sword.
According to legend, Attila carried a mythical sword called either the Sword of Attila, the Sword of God, or the Sword of Mars. In the 11th century, a sword said to be the legendary blade of Attila was given to royal family of Hungary and is now on display at a museum in Vienna. This sword is almost certainly a forgery, made in the 9th or 10th century.
Hunnic warriors were already fearsome.
Attila and Bleda were taught in the formidable tradition the Huns had already developed as fighters. They dressed in leather armor that was lined with steel, so it was both light and tough. Like the steppe people before and after them, they were outstanding horse archers, lassoing enemies from their steeds, and proved to be almost impossible for poorly trained, sedentary armies of the time to beat.
Almost everything we know about Attila comes from his enemies.
The Huns had little written tradition, and it's not even clear what their written script looked like. So the majority of our information about Attila, Bleda, and the Huns comes from Roman scholars. But it's important to note that the primary chronicler of Attila, the Roman diplomat Priscus, was his enemy. He was part of the court of Eastern Roman Emperor Theodosius Roman II, who fought a devastating war against Attila.
Huns had been in Europe less than a century when Attila was born.
The tribe of which Attila and Bleda took leadership was a newcomer on the European geopolitical scene. The Huns were initially one of many tribes on the Eurasian steppe, likely living close to modern-day Kazakhstan, before they migrated west. They arrived in and settled part of the Roman Empire around 370 CE, and instantly made their presence known thanks to their military power and fighting skill. In 376, they crossed the Danube and fought a brutal war against Rome, eventually killing Valens, the Roman emperor.
Attila's brother Bleda was a hugely important part of his life.
The Hunnic system of co-leadership ensured that Attila's brother Bleda would play an enormous role in the future of the tribe. Like other Hun co-leaders, the brothers ruled their territory together. Bleda was probably born in the late 300s CE, died in 445 CE, and he is known as having been a noble leader during his reign. He's considered one of the fathers of modern Hungary, lending an adaptation of his name to the city Bleda, now part of Budapest.
Nobody knows for sure what Attila looked like.
As with most Middle Ages figures, we have no first-hand accounts of Attila's appearance. The closest description is second-hand hearsay from 6th century Roman historian Jordanes, who cites the work of another Roman historian, Attila's contemporary Priscus. This work, History of Byzantium, describes Attila as short of stature, with a broad chest and a large head. His eyes were small, his beard thin and sprinkled with gray, and he had a flat nose and tanned skin.
Little is known about his birth or early life.
Despite being one of the most important figures of the early Middle Ages, historians agree on little regarding Attila's birth or youth. He was likely born in 406 CE in Pannonia, a province of the Roman Empire that now comprises part of several Balkan countries. His father was Munzuk, a powerful Hunnic chieftain, and his mother's identity is unknown. He had at least one brother named Bleda.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. And take care, bye.